Hi folks, how you doing? The rapid games of the Zurich Chess Challenge have started, and what a way to start. I mean, incredible game between Gelfand and Carlsen. Boris has white in this first game, Carlsen was black, and there we go. d4, knight f6, c4, c5. Now, Carlsen can play anything, don't he? Doesn't he? I mean, d5, b5, the Benko gambit. I just recall seeing him playing the Volga or Benko gambit just a couple of years ago. By the way, I think he didn't play it really well, but still, I mean, he can play anything in this world, theoretical or not. So, not a surprise to go for this aggressive opening in a rapid game. It's a very good choice, I think. C takes a6, b takes a6. So the idea, you must know it, is to sacrifice a pawn and to have lots of pressure on the queen side for black. g6. By the way, taking on a6, I'm not an expert in this line at all, but I was told some years ago by someone who was an expert in this line that bishop takes a6 at the spot is not played for this thing, because for this, I mean, scheme for white, because he's in time to play b3, say bishop b2, bishop g7, now g3, and well, I'm not sure which is concretely the reason, but this is supposed to be, at least as my friend said, the reason why black doesn't take on a6 at the spot, allowing this b3. Anyway, g6 was played by Carlsen, knight c3, bishop g7, e4. Now, probably black it's much more common to take a6 first, because then after a4 you could take on f1 and not allow white to castle, but anyway, not the most common lines played by Magnus, which is not a surprise at all. e4, short castle, knight f3, and here, for instance, d6 is much more common, much more very typical move in this play, in this line, but Carlsen goes ahead with a little bit more rare line, move queen a5, with a not really subtle threat to take on e4, because the knight on c3 is pinned. And here Gelfand reacts in what is, objectively speaking, a bad way. We may even say blundering, but of course it gives us positions very unbalanced, positions very sharp, as we're gonna see, very crazy game. He's going to sacrifice material for attack initiative, but well, objectively speaking, and playing at this highest level, it can't be really good. So he plays bishop d3, allowing knight takes d5. As we will see, it seems it was much more appropriate to play more slower, kind of much less aggressive. Bishop d2, I'm pinning the knight. Now bishop takes a6, bishop takes, knight takes, short castle, and well, black has his typical pressure of the Benko with rooks on b8, a8, and white has white is up a pawn and will have to defend to try to consolidate it and win the game. So this would be a typical Benko game. Instead, bishop d3 allows this knight takes d5. So e takes d5 and bishop takes c3. B takes, queen takes c3. White is losing material. He has a couple of choices here. Bishop d2 would follow, queen takes d3. Now material is back to equality, but white can't castle, and well, this isn't maybe not that comfortable for white, even though it seems to be, objectively speaking, better for white, but not really comfortable. I mean, bishop takes a6 is going to follow with very easy game for black. Instead, Gelfand plays queen d2, going for all or nothing. That's cool. Queen takes a1, and now he castles. An exchange sacrifice, and Gelfand will rely on activity against black queen, black king. But Carlsen will play with absolute precision, being merciless with his material advantage. So bishop takes a6 is the first move. Of course, you try to develop pieces. You have to with black. And here, well, bishop b2 was played. Really lots of tempting move here for white, but bishop b2 certainly making lots of sense. Black, that bishop on the b2 diagonal, it's really great. The queen is under attack. Even though you're giving up a piece, it's at the cost of development. So can't be a bad move at this position. Another option was to play bishop a3, another discovered attack. Now queen g7, bishop takes c5, but lots of exchanges would happen here. Bishop takes d3, queen takes. Now the rook can take on a2, and say bishop d2 attacking the queen, f6, queen c4 attacking the rook, and the rook could even go back to a8. And though black's development, black's coordination isn't impressive, but still he has a rook and a pawn against a bishop, and it must be better here. I mean, it must be difficult for white to look for real counterplay or compensation here. Some exchanges has happened. So after bishop b2, queen takes a2, only move, and now rook a1 was played by Boris. Other interesting alternative was bishop b1, attacking the queen. Even though you're letting your rook under attack, you're attacking a queen. Now queen b3 and now rook a1. And I don't know, I would probably pick up white here. Lots of potential tricks and traps here for white. Still at this level, of course, black must be much better, but if you're not a GM rated 2600 plus, it looks scary to play with black here. You have not that much development, and white has bishop pair against your king side. There is no bishop on g7 to defend. The rook on an open file. The queen can go to h6, the knight to g5. This looks scary, but hey, I'm sure Carlsen would handle this relatively easily. So after rook a1, well, queen b3. Had he taken on d5, now queen h6 is possible, threatening checkmate in 1. And after f6, very beautiful move, bishop e4, attacking the queen and x-raying the rook. And the point is that if black takes it now, knight g5, and the checkmate is coming. Otherwise, well, black will have to play something like queen h4, giving up the queen, because checkmate, there's no way to stop the checkmate on a7, and if takes, now there is checkmate on g7. So interesting. And if, for instance, rook f7, now knight takes, and this is very bad for black. So after queen b3, well, of course, Magnus didn't take it. He didn't take this risk. Bishop e4 is played, threatening to play d6 with this bishop on the big diagonal. But now d6 by Magnus, stopping that threat. Rook b1, more discovered are threatened. Now f6. And well, it seems that desperately Boris Gelfand is trying to find compensation, but he just lacks the coordination or the pieces or whatever to find it, and Magnus is slowly converting his material advantage, stabilizing his position. Bishop takes f6 was played here, just kind of a desperado attack. Of course, the queen is under attack, queen c4, and now, well, he goes back with the bishop. Probably not the best, but at this point that it's really difficult not to avoid exchanges and lose the simplifications. Bishop takes e7 probably was a little bit better, but still queen takes e4. Bishop rook e1, protecting the bishop. Now queen d3, and you can't avoid the queen exchange anymore. Bishop takes f8, queen takes, knight takes, queen and king takes, and this is a whole piece for black. Even though he doesn't have good coordination, I mean, there aren't that much pieces left on the board, so this is winning for black. Well, something similar happened in the game. After bishop b2, queen takes e4 was played. Now rook e1 and queen d3, and really, once again, white cannot avoid easily queen exchange anymore. So he takes on d3, bishop takes, rook takes e7, but now with an elegant maneuver, Carlsen gives up a little material to untangle his pieces, to untie them. Rook takes f3, g takes f3, now knight a6. He has developed pieces, he has improved his position. The check on g7 isn't very dangerous anymore, so Gelfand resigned because he's a piece down. There is not clear compensation for it, so there we go. Very interesting and the crazy game to start this rapid part of the Zurich Chess Challenge. Hope you liked the video.